Hello and welcome to this on-demand recording for the Generation 2 T-Level update for education and early years. This session is designed to ensure you feel confident and prepared to plan, deliver and support learners as we move forward towards September 2025 implementation. So in this session, we will introduce the key changes to the Generation 2 qualification. We'll highlight opportunities for support, including CPD, drop-ins and curriculum calls, and share how to stay connected through NCFE communications and the community of best practice. So we'll start by looking at the changes to the core content. On this slide, we can see a comparison of the core content between Generation 1 and Generation 2 frameworks. So starting with Generation 1 on the left, there were 12 elements covering a broad range of topics such as behaviour, working with others, observation and assessment, and English as an additional language. In Generation 2, this content has been streamlined into 7 core elements. While some themes remain consistent, such as supporting education and child development, others have been merged or restructured. For example, safeguarding health and safety and well-being in Generation 1 has evolved into safeguarding equality and diversity and well-being in Generation 2. Some examples of the changes are that equality and diversity, previously element 10, is now integrated with safeguarding and well-being. Parents, families, carers and working with others have merged into working in partnership. Reflective practice, observation and assessment, behaviour, EAL and others have either been redistributed or embedded across the professional practice. The rationale for this was to avoid any unnecessary duplication between the core and the OS and to support continuity of learning for you and your students. Now let's look at how the assessment of the core content has changed between Generation 1 and Generation 2. So in Generation 1, learners were assessed through 2 separate core examinations, Paper A and Paper B, alongside the Employer Set Project, commonly referred to as the ESP. Moving to Generation 2, these 2 written exams have now been consolidated into a single core examination. This streamlining helps reduce the assessment burden on learners while still maintaining rigorous standards. The Employer Set project remains in place as a key component, continuing to provide an applied, real-world context for learners to demonstrate their knowledge and skills. This next slide outlines the key differences in core assessment structure between Generation 1 and Generation 2 of the T-Level qualification. Starting with guided learning hours for delivery, there's a slight increase from 344 hours in Generation 1 to 348 hours in Generation 2. This reflects minor adjustments to teaching requirements to better align with the new content structure. Next, looking at the guided learning hours for assessment. In Generation 1, assessment consisted of 2 written exams, each lasting 2 hours, plus a 12-hour Employer Set project, this totaling 16 hours. In Generation 2, the written component has been streamlined into a single core exam lasting 2 hours and 30 minutes. However, the Employer Set project has increased to 15 hours and 45 minutes, bringing the total assessment time to 18 hours and 15 minutes. The increase in ESP time is explained in the note below the table. It's due to each task now having a clearly allocated duration, therefore improving structure and fairness in assessment delivery. This slide shows how the weightings for core assessment have changed between Generation 1 and Generation 2. In Generation 1, the assessment was split across 2 written exams, each contributing 35% towards the core component. Together they accounted for 70% of the total weighting, and the ESP made up the remaining 30%. In Generation 2, the structure has been simplified. There's now only 1 written exam and it carries a 60% weighting. The ESP now carries a greater weight at 40%. This shift in weighting shows a greater emphasis on the applied practical aspect of learning. It also reinforces the importance of employer engagement and authentic assessment through the ESP. And you can see here the performance outcomes for both early years and assisting teaching. These have remained unchanged other than PO4 for AT, where the language has changed slightly. The content and meaning are the same as Generation 1. Now we'll focus on the occupational specialism component of the T-level qualification, highlighting the minimum number of placement hours required for learners across both early years and assisting teaching. As you can see, the required placement hours remain unchanged between Generation 1 and Generation 2. While the curriculum and assessment models have evolved, the emphasis on meaningful, high-quality industry placements continues to be a central and consistent element of both generations. So now we'll look at the occupational specialism structure for early years. So you can see Assignment 2 Part 1, which in Generation 1 was the competency-based observations, has now become Assignment 1 Part 1 in Generation 2. Assignment 2 Part 2, which in Generation 1 was the structured observations, is now Assignment 1 Part 2. And Assignment 1, the Generation 1 planning activity, becomes Assignment 2 in Generation 2. Assignment 3, which in Generation 1 is the observation of children, shows no significant change to this assessment other than, as you can see, the letters now sit within brackets and lowercase as in the documentation. And then Assignment 3, Part 2 has also stayed the same. And moving on to the assisting teaching occupational specialism. Assignment 2, the structured observations, is now renamed as Assignment 1. Again, it's 3 structured observations. Assignment 1, the planning activity, is now renamed as Assignment 2. And Assignment 3 remains the same. This slide shows the weightings originally allocated to each assessment, and you can see that the original weightings have moved with each assignment and remain the same. This screenshot shows the official NCFE qualification page for the Generation 2 T-level in education in early years. You'll notice the updated qualification title at the top, which is T-level technical qualification in education early years level 3, delivered by NCFE. Most importantly, highlighted in red at the bottom is a key message. This is the Generation 2 Education and Early Years T-level for delivery and registrations from September 2025. This marks a clear transition point. From that date forward, all new learners will be enrolling on the updated Generation 2 specification. You can access this page via the link located at the bottom of the slide. As part of the rollout of the Generation 2 qualification, several key documents will be made available in a phased release through the qualification page. The Generation 2 qualification specification and the sample assessment materials for the Employer Set project and core paper are already live and available to access. The Generation 2 occupational specialism sample assessment materials will be published during the week commencing the 16th of June. The key date schedule, which is essential for planning and delivery and assessment timelines, will be released during the week commencing the 30th of June. And the Generation 2 Guide Standard Exemplification materials are scheduled for release in the week commencing the 1st of September. So these will really help clarify what standard is expected in learner work. To make sure you don't miss anything, please ensure you've seen or can access direct communications from NCFE. These updates might be sent to your curriculum lead or exams team, so be sure to check in with them. All these documents will support you in planning, delivering and assessing with confidence as we move into Generation 2 delivery. To help you prepare for the delivery of the Generation 2 Education and Early Years T-level, Provider Development are offering 2 key support sessions in August. These sessions are open to all providers and are designed to help you understand the Generation 2 specification, explore structural changes and get your questions answered before delivery begins in September. On Wednesday the 20th of August there will be a CPD session focused on preparing for Generation 2. This session will provide a clear overview of the key updates and core elements of the new specification, with dedicated time for question and answers. Then on Wednesday the 27th of August, there'll be a drop-in clinic giving you the chance to ask questions, explore available guidance and gain practical advice around curriculum planning, delivery expectations and implementation. Both events are now open for registration and you can sign up on our events page via the link shown on screen. If you're watching this recording, you've already found our Generation 2 playlist. This is where all future Generation 2 specific recordings will be shared. We've created a separate playlist to clearly distinguish them from Generation 1 content. We hope this will make things easier for both new providers and those already delivering across both specifications. Please do encourage your team to watch the recordings, and remember it can also be shared with placement partners to help update them on the changes. We're working hard to create additional content as quickly as we can, and initial uploads will include an overview of changes to the employer set project and an overview of changes to the core exam. If you'd like tailored support to help you prepare for Generation 2 delivery, you can now book a curriculum call directly with myself and Gemma. This applies even if you have had calls previously but just need some additional support. Please remember to indicate when you started or plan to start the T-level delivery so that the support can be aligned to your centre's context and stage in T-level delivery, and make sure the relevant staff in your team are aware of this opportunity and book early to secure the most convenient time. To book your slot, just visit the consultation booking page using the link shown on the slide. Please be mindful that many providers will be looking to book time with us. While we'll do our best to accommodate everyone as promptly as possible, there may be occasional delays or instances where we're unable to meet specific date requests. We will of course continue to offer a range of other support options alongside curriculum calls. Rest assured, no one will be left behind, and we're committed to supporting all providers throughout this transition. Thank you for your patience and understanding. To further support collaboration and shared learning around the Generation 2 T-level, we're also inviting you to join the Education Early Years community of best practice if you haven't already. This is an online space hosted by NCFE where providers can connect with peers across the country, share ideas, resources and delivery tips, get updates, inspiration and guidance directly from the provider development team. So by joining, you'll gain access to a dedicated Microsoft Teams space where you can ask questions, join discussions and stay informed throughout your delivery journey. To sign up, simply scan the QR code on the screen or use the link and complete the short form. This is a great way to stay connected and supported as you prepare for Generation 2 implementation. So just before we finish, here are a few quick but important tips to make sure you're staying connected with all the key updates. Firstly, please ensure the right person at your centre is receiving NCFE communications. This includes the newsletters and direct emails. These often contain essential updates, deadlines and resources. Sometimes these communications go to the exams officer, curriculum lead or leadership team. If you're not sure who receives them, it's a good idea to check and ask that anything relevant is shared with your delivery team. Secondly, join our community of best practice and connect with other providers. And thirdly, revisit our events page to see how we're supporting you moving forward, and as you become more familiar with the new specification, note down any questions and bring them along to a drop-in clinic where we can get you the answers you need. And lastly, if you have any questions about delivery or need further support, you can also reach out directly by emailing our T-level support team via the email address on the screen. Making sure you're connected means you won't miss out on key guidance, resources or opportunities to support your learners and your delivery planning. Lastly, we'd really appreciate it if you could use the QR code on screen to share your valuable feedback. Your comments really do help us reflect on our sessions and offer targeted and relevant support, which in turn allows you to get the best outcomes for your students. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We hope you found this recording useful and look forward to seeing you at our live events over the coming academic year.